different. So she's saying that, exactly, Mountain, that, oh my God, did you see this news? You were right. You're just so smart. Okay, watch.
She's supposedly at his construction site that he was working at. And this is investigated by 3 law officers.
Okay, this was investigated by 3 law officers. Let's pull something out of the sky. Nothing was investigated by 3 law officers. That's lie number 1. Okay, I don't know where she got that from. I haven't watched Evil Exist, but that is a blatant fucking lie.
That he explains it all in the video, but if you can watch it real quick.
And this is the one Don Wells gave details? So here it is.
That's what we thought we heard, and seeing it all in the summer.
All right, hold on.
From John and Candace fighting on live stream to the church removing all footage of Summer from their website and completely changing the way they broadcast their church services. Some new and strange information comes to light. The information we're about to talk about comes in form of a Facebook video on the Skyline News Facebook page. They have more than 51,000 followers and a news website too.
All right. So Skyline News. I happened to do a video the other day with Skyline News. And I was streaming Skyline News on, like, Facebook.
Website. Skyline News is an investigative news team dedicated to truth, fast, and very balanced reporting. Skyline covers all of Western North Carolina, and their journalists include 6 investigators. 3 with law.
Okay. So,
he's explaining who the guy is that's going to give the information.
Okay.
So they're trying to make this guy credible. This guy is an idiot. There's nothing credible about what he's saying, and I'm going to explain why.
So it seems like one journalist that works there does these videos on different cases, and he gave some very interesting information recently.
Wow.
He said he spoke to the man who claims.
So what he's trying to do, though, he's trying to justify saying that what this guy is saying is truth. So forget law enforcement, forget anything law enforcement says, because we're going to go by some fucking reporter who's back on day 1.
He has spoken to Don Wells just 3 hours after Summer went missing.
He claims to have spoken to a gentleman 3 hours after Summer went missing. Okay.
Yes, you're perfectly right. 3 hours after Summer went missing. Don was concerned about Summer and spoke about a book and sacrifice. The young man further told the journalist that he needs to check out the horse pond because Summer accidentally drowned. The man...
Oh my God.
He also told this reporter to check the last construction site that Don was working at. I'm going to play the video now and would like your...
Oh my God, I was at that house!
Okay, so now she's buying into the fact that she was at the house that they were constructing and Summer's buried there somewhere. That's what this news reporter said. So the news reporter must have heard this, but I guess LE never heard it. I guess, you know, the FBI, the 6,000 officers that were in the search for Summer Wells, I guess they never heard it either. But, you know, this reporter heard it. That's how credible this is.
You want to know something, Shay? Shay, you there?
Yeah, listen to what the guy says. It's crazy.
All right. Listen, I don't want to get people worked up, but there's a video of me in front of 2 houses with Dudley and the heels, and I'm looking at that house, and I'm like...
I'm not saying you're psychic or something.
No, I'm not, definitely not.
But your feelings were on point if this is true. So this guy that's about to talk is ex-law enforcement, and he does reporting now.
Thank you, who knows? Thank you. Because that was exactly what I was thinking. Don wasn't working on that house 7 months ago. And if she died that night and that's where she was buried, he wasn't working there. But good try. But this is what we're dealing with. He wasn't working on that house 7 months ago. And if she died that night and that's where she was buried, he wasn't working there. But good try. But this is what we're dealing with.
Okay, so we are in front of 2 important houses, right? Is that one? Yeah. This home over here, I'm gonna go with Jonathan. John, come over here. Explain to me this house. Let's do it over here. This house over here, right here, is that where he ended it?
Yeah, that's where the day he got fired, that's where they were located.
All right, this is the house that they were at when Dudley got fired from, and then this one is Tucker Construction. Okay. Wow.
So the day Summer went missing.
Yeah, he was working on this house.
No, this is the one that he wrote all the stuff on the walls and read it. How do you identify him? That person, whenever he was talking about how he wrote on the walls.
Yeah.
This is that house. This is the house that he was last working on when Summer went missing.
Right. Wow. And a beautiful house. Wow. Okay.
Right there in this road.
So it was both these houses
We were working on that. So
These are the homes.
We was finishing hanging this because the hangers had to do something, so we had to finish hanging it.
Yeah.
And we had finished this one. I didn't get paid for that.
Can I ask a really just horrible, disturbing question?
Sure.
Do you think she could possibly be in there? Have you ever thought about that?
Well, I'll show you the bathroom at the house that I seen him where he had the shit face on a Monday. We went to 3 houses that day. This was the last 2. The house that he was sitting at on the tub is right when we made that turn on this road.
Okay.
Okay, it's by the jail, Washington County Jail. That's the farmland that the farmers are building their own little hut. That's their little hut.
Don Wells was working here in this neighborhood, right here at these homes here, the day Summer went missing. A couple days, that's Dudley Agent, former co-worker, he brought us out here. This home here, that home there. These 2 homes.
Explain to me this house. What's over here? This house over here, right here, is that where he...
Which one's Tucker's home? So at the time, most of the homes here weren't even built. They were
Richard
just in the process.
right here on Monday when John said he was talking to Richard. Jamie and them was on that house.
Yeah.
Okay. He walked down and left me and went down there to talk to them while I cleaned out the house.
Okay.
Okay. Richard and them stopped right here and they all went and talked to Richard. That was on a Monday, the day I got fired, and that was the day he was talking to Jamie and Richard and all them. That was right there in this road where you parked at.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was both these houses he was working on.
Working on, yeah.
So these are the homes.
Just finishing hanging this, but the hangers had to do something. We had to finish hanging it.
Yeah.
And we had finished this one. I didn't get paid for that one.
Do you think that might
And June 14th was the day that we were sitting here. I got fired. That he was talking to Richard, Jamie, and all them. He said he was talking about it on a Monday, not a Tuesday.
Yeah. Let me ask you. When I said this after we met last night, and I'm wondering if he was upset that CPS was coming and he knew his kids were going to be taken from CPS.
Well, if that's the case, the first day, the house I showed y'all earlier, that's the first house I started with him, and that was the first day he told me he had to stay till 9 o'clock.
You want to know something, Shay? Shay, you there?
Yeah, listen to what the guy says. It's crazy.
All right. Listen, I don't want to get people worked up, but there's a video of me in front of 2 houses with Dudley and the heels, and I'm looking at that house, and I'm like,
I'm not saying you're psychic or something,
no, I'm not, definitely not.
but your feelings were on point if this is true. So this guy that's about to talk is ex-law enforcement, and he does reporting now.
We had opportunity.
Thank you, who knows? Thank you. Because that was exactly what I was thinking. Don wasn't working on that house 7 months ago. And if she died that night and that's where she was buried, he wasn't working there. But good try. But this is what we're dealing with.
Good man. And I've got a message for that young man at the end of this here, and I'll share it with you. But that young man had a story to tell. And he told me, right out there in his driveway, after we were told other families go there to swim, Asian, okay?
Kiki, exactly. Exactly. The misinformation, and Evil Exist has way more subs than I do. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's like 40,000 subs, if I'm not mistaken. But he definitely has way more subs than I do. And I can't believe that he is literally trying to put this out there as fact. So again, let's just wipe out 6,000 FBI agents and everybody that spoke to Don and everyone that interviewed Don. We're just going to completely annihilate them. They're all dumb, all 6,000 of them. FBI, TBI, local police, police that came in from other places. We're just going to completely eliminate them as they're all idiots. But Evil Exists and his buddy, that's who we're going to believe. Okay.
He says that, this is what he said. I'm just telling you what he said, and we'll put this in print. But the man says that he was led to believe, okay,
He was led to believe.
that this is what he thinks has happened. That, be careful how I word this, that this is what he said. And I'm recording you what he said. He said that Summer Wells drowned at that horse pond. And when she drowned at that horse pond, the mother was upset about it and freaked out. And it was apparently an accident, okay? And in that accident,
Now, let me also say, this is the problem, okay? You have a guy like this, and can someone tell me how many subs he has? He has a lot. 25,000, 25.5. I can see it on the bottom of a screen. 25,000 subs. He's got 1,000 thumbs up for this video. So a lot of people watched it. I can't see the views, but a lot of people watched it. So he's putting it out there. People are buying it. With 1,000 thumbs up, people are buying it. he's basically stating that he knows for a fact that Don buried his daughter. And then you wonder why Don has a gun for protection. You're causing Don to need a gun for protection. Because you're putting it out there like it's fact. And it's already been proven that this guy is a fucking moron. But you're putting it out there as fact. That's not fair to Don. That's not fair to Candace. But you want views and subs, so you're just going to put this out there. But then you're going to call the cops when Don gets a gun to protect himself. Make that make sense.
He goes on, he says, I would go check the last construction site that
Oh my God!
Mr. Wells worked at. And I said, okay, you know where it is? He says, no.
I do, I went there.
And he was very adamant, no. And that was it. And so I called, I put around, and some neighbors that were in the area told me where Mr. Wells worked at, and it was Ray Tucker Building Company. And I called Mr. Roger Tucker, who was the owner of that building company, and Mr. Tucker told us that he did work for him, he is no longer working for him, and that he will not answer any of our questions about where that construction site is.
I know where it is.
He is working with the FBI and the
You
TDF.
do?
I was there, I put up a video. Or did I?
No, I saw you. That was the one he's talking about.
Do you remember him standing in front of the two houses?
Marissa, he didn't work there 7 months ago. It's a completely different house.
Did I put it up? Did I see it? Did I put that video up? Didn't I put a video up of me standing and heels on the ground talking to Dudley? Dudley, it's two houses. This is the one where this is the one Don was working at, and then this is the one that...
Didn't Dudley say that Don poured the cement too early?
I don't remember that.
He said it on some interview.
It's the one that Dudley got fired at, yes. It's not an old house, they were brand new. They were beautiful houses, beautiful small houses.
So apparently, just so you know, if you want, whenever, the full video of that guy is down in the link, and I think he talks about that red truck because he mentions it. I don't know what he says about it because I haven't watched it. I just was like, oh my God, if this is true, Marissa, you felt it. You knew it when you were at that pond. But I love you so much, and I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, I appreciate that a lot.
All right.
Okay, so people like this girl, Shay44, are buying into this complete bullshit. I can't do a better version of...
In the Summer Wells case, from Don and Candace fighting on live stream, to the church removing all footage of Summer from their website and completely changing the way they broadcast their church services, some new and strange information comes to light. The information we about to talk about comes in the form of a Facebook video on the Skyline News Facebook page. They have more than 51,000 followers and a news website too. According to the website.
Okay, I'm sorry, but a news station should have more than 51,000 followers. I mean, if they're a legit news station, they would have thousands upon millions.
Facebook page. They have more than 51,000 followers and a news website too. According to the website.
Okay, I'm sorry, but a news station should have more than 51,000 followers. I mean, if they're a legit news station, they would have thousands upon millions.
Skyline News is an investigative news team dedicated to truth, facts, and fair and balanced reporting. Skyline and their skills. So, it seems like the one journalist that works there does these opinion videos on different cases, and he gave some very interesting information recently. In his video, he said that he spoke to a young man who claims to have spoken to Don Wells just 3 hours after Summer went missing. Yes, you heard me right, 3 hours after Summer went missing. Don was concerned about Summer and spoke about a book and a sacrifice. The young man further told the journalist that he needs to check out the horse pond because Summer accidentally drowned. The man also told this reporter to check the last construction site that Don was working at. I'm going to play the video now and would like your opinion on it.
Okay, notice the key word in that. The key word. Did anyone pick it up? That he said to look at Don's last construction site, not the current one, the last construction site. People miss these little words. They didn't say his current construction site. So Molly's not a genius. She's not a fucking psychic. Because if you would have listened, he said the last construction site. Just saying.
Jonathan Lee Riches, aka JLR. You know, you see it, guys. This is the home. This home here and that home there. Those are the two homes Don Wells, father Summer Wells, was working at the day around the time Summer Wells went missing. June 15th, 2021. He was working on these two homes here with former co-worker Dudley Ajon, who got fired the day before. June 14th, Don Wells consulted with his other workers, his supervisors, and fired Dudley Ajon a day before Summer Wells went missing. Dudley was kind enough to bring us up here to show us the homes, trying to get an understanding of where Don Wells was at the day Summer Wells went missing.
Jonathan Lee Riches, aka JLR. You know, you see it, guys. This is the home. This home here and that home there. Those are the two homes Don Wells, father Summer Wells, was working at the day around the time Summer Wells went missing. June 15th, 2021.
Last construction site, not the current one. The last construction site. People miss these little words. They didn't say his current construction site. So Molly's not a genius. She's not a fucking psychic. Because if you would have listened, he said the last construction site. Just saying.
Somebody was kind enough to bring us up here to show us the homes, trying to get an understanding of where Don Wells was at the day Summer Wells went missing. Where is Summer Wells? Where is Summer Wells?
Somewhere else, then what would him checking out the horse pond have anything to do with the price of beans in China? Because that's about where... And what would him checking out the horse pond have anything to do with the price of beans in China? Because that's about where we're at. The relevance, if she is not buried there, is completely moot. Like, the whole point is moot. So that's twice now that we heard this person say his last construction site. Twice. Not once, twice now. His last construction site. Not his current one. point is, the video was pretty clear on, he said, the last construction site. At no point was any 3 law enforcement officers ever mentioned. It is thrown out there as complete hearsay. But yet, for some reason, Marissa's viewer heard it as law enforcement has checked it out already, which was never said. That it was the current construction site, which was never said. But this is how rumors fly. This is how rumors start from something real and go into something completely absurd. He stated clearly that none of this is fact. He also stated clearly that it is thrown out there as complete hearsay. But yet, for some reason, Marissa's viewer heard it as law enforcement has checked it out already, which was never said. That it was the current construction site, which was never said. But this is how rumors fly. This is how rumors start from something real and go into something completely absurd. There's tons of people that have been interviewed. But this guy goes to some tiny little news reporter who's still looking for the red truck, the red Tacoma, and he knows. He doesn't go to the police. He doesn't go to the TBI. He goes right to some little Skyline guy who is coming up with the same theory that tons of other people have already come up with. Make this make sense for me, please, because it's just, I can't believe people fucking believe this shit. What happened to my chat? Nobody's typing. A real reporter doesn't report rumors. It's exactly right, and they will give sources. They will absolutely give sources. It's full of inconsistency, mistakes, all complete rubbish. I absolutely agree with that. And I don't believe that they're even remotely being real. Hold on. All right. Skyline News. On Facebook. Yeah. Their rating is a 3.3. They're out of Skyline. They have 38,000 likes. 2 people were here. Is an investigative team dedicated to fair and balanced reporting.
Furthermore, the information that we have to give to the Sheriff's Department, they haven't returned our calls, and we've called them 3 times now, and nobody from the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department has reached back to Skyline News. I also want to ask the other reporters that have looked at this thing, and you've done a great job, but I think you should tell everybody why nobody wants to go on camera, because everybody's scared to death out there. They don't want people to know everybody's business. They're afraid somebody's going to come back and do something to them, okay? Even though that this is possible.
Welcome, Keep It Real. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really ever remember hearing a real news reporter say how other news reporters are doing such a great job. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just don't remember ever hearing reputable people do that, because reputable people don't do that. Am I right or am I wrong?
That's what's going on. Somebody said they don't want people poking around. You're exactly right, Danielle. You're exactly right. In looking for people, we found at least 18. Somebody said one of our people said we found actually 22. We found 22 people in the past 2 years here. Just when we see the Sheriff's Department or whatever put up something online that says, can you find these people? We're missing, you got missing people. Then they're not asking us to, but we'll report it out to you good people. And when we report that, we start putting 2 and 2 together, and the family will call us and tell us what's going on. And we've been able to find them. But what we found on the smaller children, a lot of times there are a kid that would get hurt. They're not dead or anything. They would get hurt. They came from a broken family, not a good family at all. A lot of stuff going on in the family, drugs, excuse me, felonies, stuff like that. and the warrants on certain people in the household, and they don't want cops, so they're snooping around on a lot of stuff. But we've found that.
I know. I heard that they were talking about going back to Tennessee. I don't even understand why, but hey, more power to you. You want to go back? Go back. We can shut him up. I'm just showing the point that, I mean, this guy is an idiot. And then people call into Marissa gloating how dead on this guy is. And that's why, that was the whole point of my live. I mean, we can move on, but that was the whole point of my live. It's just showing that this guy is a fucking idiot. And nobody should take this guy seriously. Nobody. Like, please do not take this guy seriously. This guy is a fucking moron. Whoop.
It's true, too. I am sorry for them. I do feel bad for them. It's gotten to the point that it's overkill already. It really is. And what's even sadder is 75% of the Summer Wells community doesn't care. They want him, they want the sensationalism. They want the bullshit. They want to fly into the bullshit because very few of us actually report facts and not buy into all the nonsense. And I say there's very few of us. There are some of us, but there's very few of us. But Anna, I don't care if he has guns. Why do I care if Don Wells has guns to protect himself? Why would I give a shit if Don Wells has guns? He's not gonna fucking kill Candace. And I can assure you, he didn't just get guns today. He's probably had those guns for a long time. That's why I don't understand why people are freaking out. Do you think he just got those guns today? No. Either way, the police call was not warranted at all whatsoever. He was perfectly calm when he was talking to Cher's dad. On it. That's what I'm saying. I don't care if he's got a gun. He's not a violent felon. Like, he's not into armed robbery and shit. He's a drunk. That's his biggest problem. He's a drunk. Yeah, I'm not a fan of them either. Like, they're not my best friends. A.F. Pennington? Oh, from the church? How does reporting him for guns help find Summer? Exactly. It doesn't, but it helps their channel grow. Exactly, Hounds. Why be concerned they're not doing anything wrong? Because, Anna, it's just not a concern to the general public that Don has a gun. Don is not a murderer. He's not a rapist. And I'm talking convictions. He's not any of the things that people... Like, I know there's laws against felon having guns. Don't get me wrong. I get there's laws. But I just think it's a little over the top to worry so much about a man and a woman who's targeted as much as they are to say, oh, he can't have a gun. Like, I don't give a shit if he's got a gun. He is a mean drunk. I'm not saying he's a good person. You'll never hear me say he's a good person. I don't think Don thinks he's a good person. But that doesn't mean he killed his daughter. And, you know, I've said this before, you get a lot further with honey than you will with a bag of shit. You keep throwing shit at somebody, you're not gonna get anywhere. You're just not. Don will never said going to hurt himself or his wife. No help till police arrive. So did the police come? Is it... Exactly, honey. Thank you. Thank you. Why don't people encourage Don to get help? I'm a positive person. I believe in people trying to lift people up. Thank you, honey. Hush.
Why don't you kind of give us a little bit of background of what you were doing behind the scenes and what it took to get that done and what you're trying to do for others?
Okay. And, you know, obviously Doug was right there with me doing all this, so don't leave yourself out, Doug. So I am the founder of a 501c3 here in Southern California. We're the American Addiction Advocate Foundation. Just very quickly, I started this 6 years ago. I used to be back on the East Coast. I was a medic, and I was one of the first search and rescue crews, medical crews that were called into 9/11. Long story short, I had a complete and utter meltdown when I got home. I had lost a lot of my friends. I had gotten second and third degree burns all over me. I actually got very sick afterwards. And then right after 9/11, I lost my entire family, my father, my mother, and my brother. So I had like some severe trauma I was dealing with. And I started, you know, abusing substances. And, you know, it was only for a short while, but I got to see after years of helping addicts, you know, being a medic and going on calls, whatever, overdoses, I actually got to turn into one myself. So I have a lot of compassion for anybody out there that's suffering from addiction. So I actually work in the neuroscience field, and what we do, and I'm not a doctor, I actually dropped out of med school in my first year after 9/11, but what we do is we specialize in fixing the brain, Doug, and I've talked to you about this, because one of the things that I actually want to do while I'm on this live is, of course, I did try to help Don and Candace. I'm offering help to Mary and Jeannie and all those survivors, but I also want to offer help to you, Doug. Okay, we've come a long way in 5 years, so we're able to get the brain back to where it was post-drugs, post-alcohol, and I'm sorry, pre-alcohol, pre-drugs, and pre-trauma. So It's amazing. Unfortunately, most insurances don't cover it, but yeah, so I'm able to get really big discounts. So I'm going to take care of all you guys. So Doug and I, actually, what we were trying to do is get Candace and Don the help that we know they need. You know, the last thing, I mean, I know it's easy to bust Don's chops because he makes it very easy. And if Don, if you're listening, dude, you know, you do this to yourself, but I get it. I've been in your shoes. I told you that I understand where you and Candace are at. And I understand that there's only 3 ways this can go: jails, institution, or death. I don't want to see anything happen to you. So what Doug and I were able to put together is a year. And in 7 years, this is the first time I've been able to pull this off, right, Doug? I've never been able to pull off a year of this level treatment, including all that brain work. Out here in Southern California. Oh yeah, we're talking about, it's over $300,000 worth of treatment. And at first, you know, I was talking to Don and he seemed really open to it. And then, you know, and then when I say talking, I never actually spoke with the man. He never picked up my calls. It was all through text messaging. But then he texted me back, what was it, Sunday morning, Doug? I think it was Sunday morning, or Saturday maybe, I don't remember. But
I actually quit talking to him after I was on the live stream and I blocked him, but I gave you his info. You reached out and you were able to connect with them. So yeah.
And if Don and Candace are listening, this offer is not over. I will give you another chance. I really think you need this help. If you want those boys back, this is what it's going to take. Not only do we have 90 days of your traditional treatment, which includes medical detox, residential, PHP, IOP. We have all that set up, all paid for already. But then we have a 9-month continuing program. This program actually specializes in people that had their children taken by CPS. They are a trauma-based program. They are mental health, secondary substance abuse, but they do deal, with substance abuse. But they work with children all over the parents all over the United States that had their children taken by CPS. So I guess, Don, that's why I'm so upset you're not taking us up on this offer. This is like I've heard you say many, many times on many different channels. Nobody's helping me. Nobody's helping me. I am handing this to you on a silver platter. And that right there, Doug, is the definition of addiction. And I'm going to put myself right in there with Don and Candace because we are the very people that claim we want help. We want help. We bitch about everything. And then somebody goes to help us and we're like, no, thank you. We don't want it. So I understand that. And I know that Don thinks he can't leave Tennessee. I deal with probation departments all over the country. I can make this happen for you, dude. So you have my phone number. I hope you did go over this with Candace. My husband is one of the top interventionists in the country. He's willing, if Candace, I know she's had an issue with women. My husband said he is absolutely willing to work with Candace one-on-one. So we are here to help you guys. And, but also, if they don't take it, that's fine. But I also want to extend that help to Jeannie, Mary, and the other women. We work with a lot of great trauma centers. I will have to raise a little bit more money, but that's what I do. That's my strong point, Doug, is calling rich people up and getting them to open their pockets. So I'm really
and how can we as people donate to the 501(c)(3)?
Well, right now, I actually have a company. It's like the worst timing in the world. They're actually redoing everything. They're redoing our website. They're redoing the Facebook page. I took my donation button down. They're working on it. But they can go into any Bank of America and, say they want to donate to the American Addiction Advocate Foundation. We are a legit Southern California 501(c)(3), which means if you donate money, it's public record. You're going to see where all the money is. I have no problem giving anyone numbers. Like, we're very open about everything. We have to be. It's the law. So I also don't make any money. I've never taken a dime from this foundation. Everyone on this board, we have a board of directors made up of doctors and therapists. We have me and then my partner, Kathleen Johnson, who is the co-founder. Her husband is a firefighter here in California. So, none of us have ever taken a dime. We volunteer all our time to this. So you're working with, all of us are professionals and we really like to help people, and we can set up. And if there's people out in your audience that have family members that have no money, no insurance, they're like,
or themselves, right? Or themselves.
I mean, I can't have my foundation pay for it, but because basically we help veterans and law enforcement. That is basically what we help. If you go to my page, you'll see we're all about the military and LE, but we can get scholarships for you guys. I have so much information at the tip of my fingertips. So if anybody out there knows anybody struggling, contact Doug, contact me directly through the Facebook page.
Please.
And
then you want to give your Facebook page a shout out, and someone can actually look it up and post it. I don't have it on my phone right now, but I can make it happen.
You can definitely, give me a like, guys. That would be great. However, you can't donate. I took the button down while the company's working on it. So, but like I said, at the end of the week, it should all be up and working again, and the website should be back up. And 95% of every dollar, 95 cents of every dollar goes directly to helping people. So
it's the American Addiction Advocate Foundation on Facebook, you guys.
Correct. And then it's AmericanAdvocates.org is our website. But like I said, they have that down right now and they're working on it. So
okay, so that the American Advocate.
He's made his mistakes just like the rest of us. And he needs help. When Don is sober, he's not such a bad guy.
So after you objected to keep talking is totally the right thing to do. After what did you think about the interview? Is that when you decided they're not? No, I've always said they weren't guilty. I've said it from day one. Enough evidence has not been presented to me to say that he's guilty or that she's guilty. I personally just don't have enough evidence to say guilty. I'm a very, very strong believer in innocent until proven guilty and not based on circumstantial evidence.
Week as well. During the course of this trial, you're going to hear both circumstantial evidence and direct evidence. Direct evidence is evidence that proves a fact and issue without any inference or presumption. And I'm going to give you a simple example, very elementary example of both of these in a minute. The direct evidence is things that people see, hear, smell, touch, whatever the case may be. It's the use of their direct senses. It proves something, and you don't need to look anywhere else to establish that fact if you believe that fact to be true. Circumstantial evidence is all other evidence that does not directly prove a fact and issue, but when considered with all of the other facts, you can reasonably conclude that a fact and issue either occurred or did not occur. Again, I'm going to give you a very elementary type example of this. Let's assume that you were at your home. You were at your home with your one child or grandchild. There's no one else in the house. The doors are locked. No one can get into the house. The pets have been booted out except for the goldfish. All right? And you're sitting in the kitchen with your child or grandchild, and you're baking a batch of cookies, and you're having just a wonderful conversation with your grandchild about how you pull the cookies out of the oven and you set them on the counter close to where the child is. You tell the child, do not eat any of those cookies. Then you turn around and you start washing the dishes. All of a sudden you notice that the conversation has come to a screeching halt, so you turn around and see what's happening. Lo and behold, there's a child sticking a cookie in his or her mouth. Okay, you seeing the child eat that cookie is direct evidence that the child ate the cookie. If the child were charged with disobeying a lawful order not to eat a cookie, and the child was on trial for that, and you got on the stand and testified to what you saw, if the jury believed what you saw, they would not have to look anywhere else for the state to establish beyond a reasonable doubt that the lawful order was given and the lawful order was disobeyed. That's direct evidence. You take that same fact scenario, but instead of turning around to wash the dishes, you leave the room. And when you come back into the kitchen, you notice that there's 10 cookies rather than 12. You notice that the child has cookie crumbs on his or her mouth and his or her lap and around his or her feet, and a big, huge smile on his or her face. You didn't see the child eat the cookie, but when you take all of these different individual facts and put them together, you can reasonably conclude that what happened is the child must have eaten the cookie, because there was no one else in the house, including the pets. The doors were locked. They were still locked when you came back into the kitchen, so on and so forth. The cookie crumbs and everything else, and more importantly, maybe the big smile. Who knows? But whatever the case is, you can take all that evidence together and make that reasonable conclusion. That is circumstantial evidence. The important thing that you need to understand is that both evidence are to be treated however you wish to treat it. One's not better than the other. Direct evidence is not better than circumstantial evidence, and the other way around. How you want to weigh that, you have to weigh all of the evidence, direct and circumstantial, but you will decide what weight you want to give any evidence that you hear.